No, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody. Kind of an exciting night tonight. Jenny, if you take the roll.
Councilmember Thorson?
Here.
Councilmember Peterson?
Here.
Councilmember Wong?
Here.
Councilmember Cole?
Here.
Mayor Furlong?
Here, quorum is present. Motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Cole,
Second.
second by Councilmember Thorson. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So at this time, we have a presentation for the oath of office for our new police chief. And what I'd like to do is, if you could come up to the front podium there with your family and this is great. This is really exciting. Welcome, Chief. It's been for us, it's a great addition to the family here of North St. Paul and to the department and to the police department. Great to see the young kids. So my job is easy. I get to read this off. And but first, what I'd like to do is recognize 12 years ago we lost one of our officers, Richard Crittenden. So what I'd like to do, if Father Ettore, if you could maybe say a quick prayer on Richard, and we're going to do a moment of silence after, or even during the prayer. If you could maybe come up and, or if you want to just address the crowd too, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I'd like to recognize Richard.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So we say thanks for this moment of memory, this moment of mourning, this moment of woundedness for Richard Crittenden and for the whole community of police officers that serve the city, this territory with the zeal, the law, and the safety, and for the well-being of each and every one of us, reflecting in some degree the beauty of God in the creation. So we pray for Rich Crittenden, that he govern as in his capacity as a police officer 10 years ago, and more years of service. We ask God to give him in prayer, in his mercy, and in his eternity. And we pray together, Our Father,
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
eternal rest grant unto Rich, O Lord, and let the perpetual light shine upon him. Let us also all the faithful departed through the mercy of Christ rest in peace. Amen.
Thank you, Father. And then you'll have a special prayer for yeah, so. So at this time, what I'd like to do is. Sure. If you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Philip J. Baebenroth,
I, Phil J. Baebenroth,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
justify, and impartially discharge
justified, and impartially discharge
the duties of Chief of Police for the City of North St. Paul
the duties of the Chief of Police of the City of North St. Paul
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Mayor.
This is the Law Enforcement Oath of Honor. What I'd like to do is maybe ask the past chief, Tom Loth. Could you come up and... I wanted to get one more thing out of you before you did. If you could have the honor to do this.
Absolutely.
You need your glasses.
Yes, I do. That hasn't changed. It's been a while since I had to do anything official.
We kind of do things that's
a good thing.
All right. Law Enforcement Oath of Honor. On my honor,
On my honor,
I will never
I will never
betray my badge,
betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
or the public trust.
I will always have the courage
I will always have the courage
to hold myself and others
to hold myself and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold
I will always uphold
the Constitution,
the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the agency I serve.
and the agency I serve.
So at this time, Father Ettore, if you want a little blessing for... And then you'll be able to give a speech.
So we, as he promised to be faithful to the Constitution and to the law, we would like also to promise to follow the good and the order established by God as a police officer and your chief here for North St. Paul, for your family, for your relatives, for your friends, for each and every one of us. So Almighty and eternal God, you have revealed your glory to all nations, God of power and might, wisdom and justice. Through you authority is rightly administered, laws are enacted, and judgment is decreed. Assist with your spirit of counsel and fortitude our new chief of police here tonight and his family in this new task, joyful task, full of responsibility. May he encourage due respect for virtue and religion. May he execute the laws with justice and mercy, and may he seek to restrain crime, vice, and immorality. We pray for Phil, the new chief of police here in North St. Paul, for the members of the police office, for each and every one of you, for your family members, for judges, elected civil officials here present tonight, and all others who are entrusted to guard our political welfare, the political welfare of this city, North St. Paul, may be unable by your powerful protection to discharge their duties with honesty and ability. We likewise commend to your abundant mercy all citizens of North St. Paul and of the United States, that we may be blessed in the knowledge and sanctifying observance of your holy law. Dear God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, may we be preserving union and that peace which the world cannot give, and after enjoying the blessing of this life, be admitted to those which are eternal. We pray to you, who are Lord and God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
May Almighty God bless you here and with you, your family, and this new office that you are taking officially tonight. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Congratulations. Yes, it's
The microphone's yours. I just want to say a quick thank you to Ray Rosales for the interim chief. And I did give him a card from the council tonight. So thank you, Ray, also. So go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, council members, and Father for coming and giving that speech, especially to honor Rick. I didn't want this day to pass without honoring him. Couldn't be happier to be here today. Truly honored. It's an amazing community. I'm happy to be a part of it. The group of officers that are here are fantastic. I'm proud to join this team, and I'm looking forward to the road ahead. So thanks a lot for getting me on board. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Well, at this time, if you want the family to come up to get a picture, or, it's a photo opportunity here, we'll take about a 5-minute break, so if you want to get a picture. And I guess there's a reception downstairs, not after the meeting tonight, but like right now, after
think so.
you're done?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to keep them here for the whole meeting. Definitely not. Definitely
Don't
not.
last too long.
So I don't know if you want a group picture with the family, or photo shoot? Oh, okay. She wants a picture of the two of us real quick. Should we get the council? Should we get the council back here?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be good. Get everybody in.
Where's the camera? Where's Grandpa? Where's Grandpa? Thank you.
I did have a letter from one of our residents. It says, "My name is Kevin Kress, and I currently reside in the city of North St. Paul. I was hoping to be present tonight for the swearing-in of yourself. I had the pleasure of meeting and working with Phil while serving in my current role as the North Oaks City Administrator. I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to the mayor and council for selecting an excellent individual to serve as the new police chief. I had the pleasure of working with Phil during our monthly administrator meetings. Some highlights of those meetings were maneuvering through the COVID-19 pandemic, budgeting, training, healthy and safety, SWAT, contract city agreements, security, patrolling, and many other areas related to policing. Phil is of utmost integrity and character, possessing the right leadership, management, personality, and demeanor to serve the city of North St. Paul. While I wish I could have been with you tonight to honor and greet Phil, I want to extend a welcome to either way. I wish the city of North St. Paul and Phil the best in his new adventure. I know Phil is an excellent choice. I'm happy to see him serve as our police chiefs, and I think that kind of sums up for all of us, all of our residents. And I want to thank the police commission, too, for their efforts in finding him. They did a pivotal role in getting you into our city. And the kids are going to be great in our city. We found a house for you, just to let you know, we found a nice house for you to live in North St. Paul. So again, thank you very much. And thank you, Father Ettore, if I think he left, but I want to thank him also. Good. Good. Which is going to be harder? This job or this job? Mama, you got a girl.
I got daycare.
Okay, we do have one more proclamation here, and that is declaring September 17th to the 23rd as Constitution Week in North St. Paul. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government and republic dedicated to rule by law, and whereas September 17th, 2021 marks the 234th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to the magnificent document in its memorable anniversary and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Mayor of North St. Paul, do hereby proclaim September 17th and 23rd, 2021 as Constitution Week in the city of North St. Paul and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. Signed the 7th day of September, 2021. And we have, so now is the consent agenda, and that is the August 16th special budget meeting minutes, the August 17th regular meeting minutes, the August 17th workshop meeting minutes, the August 17th HRA meeting minutes, the general claims of $579,748.87, special event for Rotary Park dedication, special event for Fall Roundup Parade, special event distribute free meal packs to families in need, special event for the North High Cheerleaders fundraiser car wash, Saturday, September 11th, 2021. The application for current online liquor license to include permanent extension of premises by the Sons of the American Legion, post number 39. The Quick Trip 3.2% off-sale liquor license, and the land registration to clean up title issues. At this time, if anybody would like to pull anything off the consent agenda, they can do so at this time. We're good? So a motion is for the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Moved by Councilmember Peterson.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Cole. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Meeting is open to the public, and I have one, and that is John Schmall. Welcome, John.
I'm surprised it's only one. Anyway, just to go over the continued frustration with your communication system. This new system that you have is just so damn frustrating. Today, this week, and I don't have anything against Jenny, but she's the only one that I can talk to when things go haywire. And the last go-around was I was doing some research on council meetings, and I looked at what was before me as far as the agendas and the dates, and there was a meeting that was indicated to be having occurred on the 19th of August, so I had to call and say, what was that meeting? Well, it wasn't a meeting. It was just an entry, which Jenny said, I'll get rid of it. So, well, that's fine. I thought I accomplished something, and then I started going a little further about meetings in the future, and there was a meeting with that little icon that says that there is a video of this meeting, and that happened to be on a date of September 25th. Now, even I know that you can't have a video of a meeting that hasn't occurred. So Jenny says, well, I'll get rid of that. Well, my interest is to have some confidence in this system And how can you have confidence in a system where you can either, with malice aforethought or thinking just it went in because of an error, that there isn't an edit in the system that says, no, you can't do that because this is September, or this is August 30th, and you're trying to indicate there's a video available for a meeting that's going to be held on the 25th of September or 24th, whatever it is. So to me, if you were doing something like putting in a DOB on any system known to mankind, and you tried to put in a DOB that was beyond the date that you were doing this, it would come back and say, maybe you want to try again. It isn't possible. But with this system that you have, who knows what you could input? So I have no confidence in this. I wish I did. And I'm still waiting for an answer to the question that I had 3 weeks ago that had to do with this Facebook and Twitter showing up on a screen when there was a presentation being made. If the world didn't have Twitter and Facebook, we'd probably be in a better position when it came to vaccinations. It's just, you know, Facebook and Twitter. And today, there was an item D added. No one knows that there's an D added. I've talked to people, sent email messages. Were you informed there's an item D because I know they get the notifications? No, I did. Jenny was very nice to let me know there was an item D, because if I got here, she knew what was going to happen. I'd be up here. But I'm the only one that knows there's an item D added to it, except for you people. You up here, you get that information, so you're ahead of the game. Again, it's just frustrating dealing with this. And as a sidelight, driving on Sepulveda today, I just made a circle. I think you need to put up a sign that they have at Burwald next to Carpenter's where it says, smile, you're on candid camera, no dumping. There was a hot water heater sitting next to the post office back there, and a discarded bicycle. And on top of that, further to the west, was a derelict vehicle. It's been, you know, what's it doing there? It's ridiculous.
No, I agree. Illegal dumping is all over the place. We used to have it at the liquor store all the time.
Oh.
But I
But,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
how can you leave a car?
We'll work on, you know, we are working with the new technology that we're dealing with, and it's not going to be fixed overnight.
It was
We're
so
dealing with it.
wonderful to be able to have the old system.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. Sorry. Come on up.
I didn't know I had to sign up. I second your communication thing, by the way, just so that you knows he has a backup on that. Once, because I keep being told we should look on the website. Well, if we don't know we're supposed to look on the website, because we don't know that it's been posted to the website, you know, in the first place, we don't really know that we're supposed to go there to look in the first place. So I'm kind of getting tired of told to go look at the website for stuff, and that is my responsibility to look on the website, because if we don't know that there's a meeting that got added, or if we don't know that something new is being popped up, or we're supposed to look there, and we are so many elderly people in our community that don't have internet or don't have email. My parents are in their 60s and they don't use the internet and they don't have email. So, I mean, I second that. We just don't know what's going on. And mail sometimes is the best way to do that. If there's other ways, you know, I think there needs to be more than one way to communicate things, because there's more than one way that we communicate in the neighborhood. I came partially because of communication, because I live at 2481 19th Avenue next to the property that's going to be rebuilt. And I was out thanking the officers for everything that they've done for me and my neighbors, and talking about how much the neighborhood has changed since we've gotten rid of the problem neighbors that we had there. For almost 7 years, I lived next to where I didn't have a decent night's sleep. the entire time. And it's not your fault, and it's not their fault. You guys did everything you could to try to help us, but it took a long time to get the support of the city. And we had the support of the police all along, but it took a long time to get a partnership with the city, which we finally did. And I'm appreciative of that. What I'm struggling with, one is communication, in that things happen, and we have no idea. And I expressed a concern that I've had for a whole year about the design of the property. And I'm told, well, you weren't at this meeting, that wasn't brought up at this meeting. I didn't know those meetings were happening. I can't come to every single city council meeting to find out if you're gonna talk about that property. I have children, I have things, going on. And if I would have known if the design was being changed, design was changed multiple times, I didn't know that, nobody told me. Nobody told me there was a meeting about it. Nobody informed me or any of the neighbors after the design was changed. So I had known that there was a design, which I didn't approve of in the first place, but didn't argue about it. I just asked for one small change. And then I heard the design change. I'm like, great. Found out it wasn't the request that I made, the one request that I made. I just said I spent 6 years not sleeping. I mean, every single night we were woken up by noise. This last year's been amazing. And now we're gonna start noise again, which is inevitable, and I'm not upset about that. What I'm upset about is the design moves the driveway right next to my bedroom window, my daughter's bedroom window. We didn't sleep. We disrupted our sleep. And the way that the neighborhood was designed, the driveway was designed to be on the left side of the property, not the right side. That's the whole way the neighborhood was designed. If that driveway gets moved next to my bedroom window, lights are gonna be shining through my bedroom window, noise is gonna happen in the middle of the night. Our properties are so close. And then I have on my other side of the property, I have a shared driveway, so I have two driveways, and then I have another driveway, so my property will be surrounded by 3 driveways, which is gonna decrease my property value if it already hasn't, with all the nonsense and criminal record that we have. It's gonna take a long time to recover from, the criminal activity in our neighborhood taking our property values. And then that's just another thing on top of, the noise that's, and I've been asking for this for a year, and I was told, well, you never said anything. Yes, I did. I have emails that prove that I put it in writing. I came to a meeting like this last year. I specifically said, I really, really strongly ask that you please reconsider the driveway. And I was told that the whole design was refigured out and redesigned based on comments and feedback from input from neighbors and other people. But the one feedback that I gave, the one piece of feedback that I begged and pleaded for was ignored and told that that's not happening. And now we're not even gonna talk about it. So I'm here because one, again, communication, 2, respect for my family and I and everything that we've been through. I mean, I'm a lifelong resident of North St. Paul. I grew up here, I went to North, my kids go to North, my dad went to North. We're lifelong residents of North St. Paul. We do everything we can to support the city. We are right there backing and supporting the city and talking it up and everything that we need to do to be a responsible citizen here. And the one thing that I asked has been, just flat out denied. Now, I was given just recently, last week, I was given like 5 different reasons or 6 different reasons of why it wasn't gonna happen. All of them were to benefit the city, not to benefit me, which was really disheartening. That all of those reasons, well, we want the new property owners to have this, we want the new property owners to have this, and we want them to have privacy. It's like, well, what about my privacy? What about my privacy when there's a car shining its light in my bedroom window when I'm trying to sleep? What about my privacy when it's 2:00 in the morning and somebody revs their motorcycle or drives their car and what about us? And so all of the reasons that were given to me were all city serving and had nothing to do with the respect for my family or I. Last week, a tree was taken down, normal thing. But we have several disabled kids in our neighborhood, members of our community, one directly across the street, one directly next door. And one of them had a complete emotional breakdown because of the noise that lasted for multiple hours. It would have been nice to just say, hey, we're coming out tomorrow to take out the tree. You know, it's not that hard, even if we don't have 3 weeks' notice or 10 weeks' notice, if we even have a little bit of notice saying this is gonna happen. Last year, it was 7 in the morning and the pole got moved from the neighbor's yard into my yard. There was like an electric pole. Nobody told me it was gonna be moved in my yard. Nobody told me it was ever gonna happen. 7 o'clock in the morning, my kids jumped out of bed and almost hurt themselves because of the noise at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know?
Move over just a little
And
bit.
so, oh, that's fine.
I'm starting to lose sight of you over the sun, so.
So at 7 o'clock in the morning, just like out of nowhere, we're like jolted out of bed, and because a pole's, not only is the noise, but a pole got moved into my yard and nobody even said it was gonna happen. And then I'm told, well, that's normal tradition. A lot of times it's in the middle of the property. Well, it still doesn't mean you can't let me know they're gonna put a big pole in the middle of my property. You know, my lawnmower's been wrecked because of all these, stakes that keep getting put in the yard. And then they get flattened because they never get taken out, and then I roll over them, and then I finally remove them, and then they get put back in again. And so those kind of things, I mean, if you say, hey, we're gonna be doing some electrical work, we're gonna be putting some flags in your yard, we're gonna come back next Monday and remove them, or when you mow, you can go ahead and remove them, that kind of stuff, but I didn't remove them because I thought they needed to be there. Then I'm told, oh, you could have taken them out. Well, after I've already mowed over them, you know, it's just, you know, this communication thing is horrible, but it's also respect for your neighbors. I mean, we've been neighbors now for a year, now that you guys have owned the property. You know, it hasn't been a good experience being neighbors with the city. It just has been really, really disheartening. So I would like to have further conversations about this design. I would respectfully ask that you let us know when things are gonna happen, especially if it's gonna be causing a lot of noise and disruption to our disabled.
So we have a meeting next
We
Wednesday.
have a meeting next Wednesday, but I was told that we would not be discussing the design, which is
Correct.
another one of my
Correct.
reasons for being here today.
And I appreciate your input.
Yeah.
But-
Well, and I was told that a year ago, but then you know, that one thing that I asked for now is,
And there's a lot of reasons why it's staying where it is.
again, it's
the
all
driveway.
self-serving for the city. It had nothing to do with what's best for me and my kids.
I
that's-
believe it's a drainage issue for the driveway.
And I asked if somebody would come and have a discussion with me about that and explain exactly why, you know, we can't drain, you know.
And I don't want to argue with, you know, because I know.
I know, but I
you've
did
had-
ask for somebody to come in and have a conversation with me about it and explain that to me.
And I believe you had, Tom Spain was over at your property?
Not before that, no. He said, when Tom was at my property, he said that he would look into it and do everything he could to make that happen. And then I heard nothing again. That was weeks ago. I heard nothing again until I inquired about it and told that, nope, not doing it. So, you know, again, that's the thing where we talked about something, yeah, we'll look into it, we're not gonna get back to you. And that's been a huge problem, and then it's like, and then he.
And I don't think we're going to agree on it.
No, and we probably
We're not-
won't,
I
but
know we're not gonna agree
I'm
on
with him on the
everything.
communication thing. We have to do better, and we have to respect the people that are already living here just as much as the people that are going to be coming and living
Okay.
in our neighborhood. And, you know,
Okay.
you're not gonna have a problem selling that house. You know, properties are selling like crazy. But.
I
yeah,
do appreciate your comments, but right now, there's nothing we can do. We're not going to make a debate on this tonight. I'm taking your comments now, but I don't think there's anything we can do with the design. It's already been approved.
But when was it approved? Was it
At the
something that-
HRA meeting.
Okay, and were we notified of that meeting, that we could come and attend and contribute to
It's
it?
public information.
Again, yeah.
So, I don't know what to tell you, Jackie. There's a lot of process that went through the design of this house. It was bigger, it was smaller. You know, we made it smaller to make it fit into that property. There is a drainage issue over there. That's why the driveway is on that side. I've looked at many houses in the area. There are shared driveways between two properties. I know there's driveways that will go where there's one side is a living room or a bedroom. You know, this is a private property. If we didn't own it, somebody could go in there and do whatever they want. We've done a lot of work in regards to this property to make it fit and to make it right. we've got a lot of time, a lot of money invested into the process of what's happened to where it is now. And I think, you know, it's going to be a really good property. I think the property value is going to go up for you to have a new house next to you. You know, you say the driveway is going to take away from your value. I don't think so. But that's my own personal. But it's been vetted from the designer, and it's the best what fits into that property. And we have that meeting next Wednesday with you and the neighborhood. Anybody else? So at this time, we have the city. Oh, we had the public hearing. That's it. We have the public hearing, and that is for the business subsidy, and I believe we have Michaela here to present that.
Would you like just a brief overview of it for?
Yep,
that?
yep, she's going
Great. Sounds
to
good.
overview.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Michaela Hewitt with Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors, here to provide a brief overview of the action item tonight. Again, the public hearing is scheduled to consider the amended and restated business subsidy policy. The intention of the policy, or the amended and restated policy, is to provide the criterion for which the city can provide the city and the EDA can provide future business subsidies. It is required by statute to have a business subsidy policy, and it's recommended that you review and consider modifying criterion every few years. With that, I think I will suggest that you open up the hearing, take any public comment, and then I'd be happy to address any questions or comments that you may have.
Okay, so at this time, we'll open up the public hearing for the business subsidy policy. Is there anybody in the audience or anybody on, are we online? Is there anybody online who would? Oh. Mr. Small.
Let this opportunity go.
You've got 30 seconds.
Well, at least it isn't what Maplewood used to have. It was like the NBA clock. Bing! And it started counting down. Anyway, man, and it is said that government doesn't work at warp speed. My God, this thing is unreal. The timing and over a holiday and wham and a hearing and whatever. Man, this is something else. That's all.
Thank you.
I took that as a compliment.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a compliment or a... So at this time, we will close the public hearing, and no other questions, Michaela? Thank you for presenting.
Yeah, thank you for the time and listening.
Interim City Manager, City Business Action Items, recommendations.
Thank you, Mayor. First action item is resolution adopting and amending and restating policy and criteria for granting business subsidies.
I don't know if, Michaela, you want to, you've already gone over it. You mentioned maybe a few things about it, why we're here, maybe kind of the general, kind of what we talked about in the workshop, how we got to where we are.
So Mayor, members of the council, again, before you tonight is the resolution to consider adopting the amended and restated business subsidy policy. As I mentioned during the workshop, cities Communities are required to have a business subsidy policy prior to granting of a business subsidy. It is our belief that the city had previously adopted a business subsidy policy. However, with review of policies and criterion, it was recommended that the city consider adopting this amended and restated business subsidy policy, which again includes the current criterion for which the city can consider providing future business subsidies. And within that amended and restated business subsidy policy are the required, the statutory requirements, as well as the city's general goals and objectives for providing business subsidies, as well as some of the evaluation criterion and things to consider when entering into a business subsidy. So again, before you tonight, for your consideration, if you choose, would be to consider adopting that resolution, which then formally establishes the business subsidy criterion and that amended and restated business subsidy policy.
Any questions for Michaela? If not, the motion is for resolution adopting the amended and restated policy and criteria for granting business subsidies. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Cole.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Wong. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you.
Interim City Manager Frandl.
Thank you, Mayor. The next business action item is a loan agreement between North St. Paul Economic Development Authority and the North St. Paul Hospitality, Inc.
All right. Michaela, I don't know if you, maybe you come up again, and Robert, if you want to, we'll kind of do the same thing what we did in the workshop, kind of give our talk in regards to the loan. I think it's important that people understand what this loan is about and why we're going to give it. I hate to put you on the spot like this.
No,
but
that's okay. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the action item before you tonight is to consider the resolution that would approve the loan agreement between the North St. Paul Economic Development Authority and NSP Hospitality, Inc. The loan agreement and the accompanying documents are, again, between the EDA and the borrower in the amount of $125,000. It's a $125,000 forgivable loan that would be between the EDA and the NSP Hospitality, Inc. And it would be used to assist with reimbursing, financing a portion of the costs associated with acquiring and installing certain equipment at a future restaurant located at 2526 7th Avenue in the city. The loan is structured as forgivable, and meaning that there are certain conditions and terms within the loan agreement of which the borrower needs to follow, and subject to meeting those annual compliances over a 5-year period, roughly 20% of that loan of $125,000 would be forgiven each year, subject to that borrower meeting the requirements of the loan. And quickly, the annual compliance certificate that the borrower needs to meet include the following conditions, such as the borrower is not in default within the terms of the agreement. The borrower has not sold, transferred, leased, or otherwise disposed of the equipment, which again is the purpose of the loan. The borrower is current in all licenses and permits that are required to operate and continues to operate at the facility for the duration of that 5-year period, and that the borrower is in compliance with all city ordinances applicable to the operation of the restaurant. So again, before you tonight, I'll take any questions, is the loan agreement, the security agreement, the note, and again, the resolution to consider approving that loan agreement.
And I'd like, Robert, if you could just come and talk about the EDA side of where we've come to this point here.
Mayor and council members. So the genesis of this was a request by the operator for assistance to bring their business to the town. We we've done a reasonable level of due diligence with the operator. We believe that this is a good piece to the puzzle in the downtown, and short of having a policy at the time, the policy was crafted concurrent with these loan documents and the agreement we have come to with the borrower. And we think it provides excellent return for the city, and put some hooks in the operator to keep them here for an extended period of time. And if, of course, if they do not, if they were to leave, that's what the loan documents capture, and returns at least some of our investment. So we would encourage the council to approve this item on the docket.
And coming from the EDA too, is something that we've looked at for the last 5 years in regards to trying to get
Correct.
something down in.
Almost everything that comes from the EDA is at least 5 years in the working.
So, any questions for Michaela or Robert from the council? No question.
I just have one question. You gonna let her sit down or?
No, you stay here. You stay there. You stay there. Good. I just think, this opportunity for us to be able to get a very well-respected community or person from the community into our downtown, into something that the population of the city has wanted for a long time, to get a well-known or get a good established restaurant. And Brandon Bramshear, who's in the audience here, I think he offers that for our community. He's a North High graduate. He operates two B-52s, one in Lakeville, one in Inver Grove Heights. So I think he offers, something that for our money, we're going to get something that he's had over 30 years experience in regards to restaurants. So the risk, I think, to us is it's not just a fly-by-night person coming in. Hopefully not, Brandon, you're not a fly-by-night person. But, someone, it was asked earlier, restaurants are risky, and a lot of that risk is because of either non-owner occupied, restaurants, or someone who hasn't been in the industry long enough. But I believe this incentive thanks him for coming into our community and allows him to be able to get established. I believe he's also getting part rent reduction too, just to make sure that he does succeed. And as a business operator, I think those are the pluses for him to be downtown. I don't know, Robert, if you want to add anything to that.
I would add, I did visit both of his existing restaurants twice as a secret diner.
As a secret shopper?
Secret shopper. I will say at both locations, both times, staff was friendly, food was great, restrooms were clean, facility was clean as a whole, and I think that if we have that in North St. Paul, that's going to be a great addition. So.
Good. All right, so, yep, go ahead, Councilmember Peterson.
Soren weigh in on this, or you weren't involved in this, were you?
I really wasn't. You
Okay.
you used outside counsel to draft the documents. They do appear in order, and I think everything's ready to go. It's a policy decision before you at this point.
Soren, is this something that you see in other cities, business subsidy?
It is. It is. Now, just to be clear, and I know that this is a technical thing, but your counsel has weighed in that this isn't a business subsidy. But in general
In all
terms,
general, it would
in
be.
general terms, it is. But legally speaking, it isn't. So you are assisting a business.
Okay.
One other quick question for the attorney. Does this just take a simple majority
Yep.
to approve? Okay.
Any other questions for Michaela or Robert? If not, the motion is for I don't actually have, the motion is for a loan agreement between North St. Paul Economic Development Authority and the North St. Paul Hospitality, Inc. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's moved by Councilmember Cole,
Second.
second by Councilmember Wong. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Brandon, if you would like to come up and talk about it, congratulations. Great to have you in our town, and I'm very excited to go and eat at the restaurant.
Yeah, it's going to be a little while, but we'll get there. It's going to be called Max. We're going to be open early in the morning, 7 a.m., provide breakfast all day. We are hoping to have a liquor license, but I think we'll probably do about 80% of our business in food. We obviously will bring some jobs to the area. Good jobs that have insurance, which is nice. And I don't know, is there any questions or any?
How big is it? How big is it going to be? How many people can you serve?
We're looking right now, the plans are about 140, 130 inside, and then we don't know yet about the patio. So we're still waiting on the patio plans, but should be a pretty good size operation.
Good.
What's on the menu?
What's on the menu?
It's in development. It'll be some of your standard diner fare, but we'll put a twist on it. We're working on it.
So the Max, why Max? Why not B52?
Well, Max, I'm from North St. Paul, and I have fond memories of Max Dinette from back in the day. And I was sad when it left, and I've always been my dream to bring it back in some form. And it's not, it's going to be a departure from that old Max, but I want to maintain some of that community spirit that I remember from that operation. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
Well, again, welcome. We're looking forward to working with you and your crew down there.
We're excited. We're ready to go.
You just can't build it fast enough, can we?
Yeah, there's supply chain problems, but we're working those out as best we can.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Council.
Good luck. I think Gary Mulcahy still has that original Max Dinette sign, so, yeah, I'm sure he probably would sell it too, but.
City Manager Randall.
Thank you, Mayor. City business action item C, task force needed for review update of redevelopment and master plan. So back on, I believe it was August 15th, the Planning Commission and EDA jointly have requested a review and update of the redevelopment master plan. A committee is needed for this project and will be comprised of 2 planning commissioners, 2 EDA members, and 2 council representatives. Tentatively planning to meet Monday evenings. This is proposed to be a short-term project, so there isn't a need for long-term commitment. Please see the attached redevelopment master plan from 2013. The recommendation is requesting 2 volunteers needed from city council representation.
I'd like to have, if we can, Councilmember Cole and I are both on the EDA, to have somebody else besides us too. So, do you draw straws? Councilmember Wong, would you be interested?
I would be okay with it.
You'll be okay with
Bring
that?
it on, yep.
Councilmember Peterson, Thorson?
I'm happy to do it too, but I guess it's your decision to appoint people to.
Well, this one I don't appoint, so it kind of.
Well, are you 2 planning on being at these meetings?
I don't think so.
Okay, because then we would have a quorum issue with
Right.
council members, so.
Right.
You'll play golf, you said?
No, I said.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, I thought you said I'll play golf. You'll do that instead. No, I'm happy to do it.
We'll put Councilmember Wong and Councilmember Thorson on it. Got that written down? City Manager, okay. Next item.
Next item, thank you, Mayor. Presentation of the city profile from David and Drought Associates. Mark Casey is here from David Drown. They were awarded the bid for the search for our new city manager. So,
Welcome, Mark.
Get a little situated here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. As you stated, I was Mark Casey from David Drown Associates. I at least had the opportunity to meet or talk with each one of you as we were working through this process. So it's always fun to see the faces, you know, some come versus the phone. But once again, I for sure appreciate this opportunity. In front of you this evening, there are some items that you have, hopefully you received and a chance to review, but we have a position profile to review and approve, a salary range to review and approve, job description to review and approve, and also in the timeline, just to make sure hopefully we're on the same page before anything goes out in advertisement, especially for the interview dates, and along with any questions you have as a council. As we start to embark on this process, we look at this and be trying to be in the business of the fit business and trying to find you the best fit that you're going to have for your next city manager. Sometimes I think many councils will look at this as one of your most important decisions you will make as a council on who you appoint as your next leader of the staff and working on the operations. So I was going to kind of jump into it unless anybody has any questions before I start.
I don't know if we have something we can put on the screen or no.
Yeah, it was in the agenda packet, correct.
I don't see it in the packet.
I think it was a late addition, so you can yeah.
Yeah, the profile would be the first one.
You should be able to access it off the website. It is updated on there.
page 161 of the packet.
What page is it?
161.
As you as a council is looking for the profile, may I'll just talk a little bit if that's okay. In regards to the profile, we use the profile for many sources as we begin with our search. First and foremost, it's a document that we would use for advertising. So this is what prospective candidates would be looking at as they do their due diligence and they do their work on seeing what they want to know about North St. Paul. What we find in the search business, it's kind of like a marriage in a sense. You have to have the right fit for the person and the right person for the position. So the candidates out there, they're going to be doing their due diligence, as I mentioned, and they'll be watching meetings like this tonight, or also have the opportunity to read minutes or any other kind of documents to find out what they can about the city. So in front of you on the screen here is a 10-page document. There's a draft. I already received a few comments from Councilmember Thorson, and I incorporated them into what I'll be talking about this evening. So hopefully you as a council had a chance to kind of look this over. We also use a profile for an opportunity for personal conversations. It's an opportunity as to showcase your community. And also the attributes and the goals are incorporated in this document, and that's what I hopefully heard from you as you're telling me as we met and what you'd like to see, and also my opportunity to talk with the staff too. And then finally, it's a tool can use for screening for applicants. As the applicants are coming through, we can match those things up in a sense to see. For sure, obviously, we're going to meet the minimum qualifications, but then as we get closer to getting ourselves into semifinalist. So I guess maybe if anybody has anything on the profile, this would be kind of the opportunity time to bring that up. I would say from the draft that you have that's on the screen in your packet, on page 2, we did strike out the Lilly Suburban newspaper. That was some old information. Apologize about that. And then the bank was changed out from Anchor Bank to Old National. On page 4, with the car show on the last column, that struck out July, but that did June. So the car show from June to September. And then on page 6, on the budget documents, just under fire, The 2020 number should be straight from the budget of $1,066,928, and the 2021 number would be the $1,086,847. And then finally, on page 7, where the job description would be, are essential duties, and this will also be talked about when you look at the job description, would be the suggestion of adding additional one that says to ensure all city policies are enforced and adhered to. So those are the corrections that were made to what you see would potentially on the screen or in your packet compared to what we have here for this evening. So I have my pen ready if there's anything else that you as a council would like to see different in that profile.
Any comments? So the pay range, did we?
Sure.
So we do have that at what, 120, I think it's in the first page there.
Correct, yep, 124, 113 to 155, 106. So that's taken directly from your class and compensation study that is being done on an annual basis. And just a little bit more information behind that. At your minimum average pay, the 124, 113, that's about 87% of the market where that would be at. On the high end, the 155, 106, that's at 91% of where the market's at. Traditionally, the applicants are going to look at the high end, and there's always to be noticed that the high end necessarily does not mean what they start at, but something that they can aspire to. But that's where a lot of the applicants will take a look at that in a sense. And it's extremely competitive right now. It's a very competitive market anyways, but right now we're seeing the most business we've seen as a company, and we do the most searches in Minnesota. And it's been very active. It's almost counterintuitive. You thought with COVID or something, people would be hunkering down, but really finding that there's been some good movement in the field. So
are you recommending this range, or are you recommending a set amount?
I would be recommending that range.
That range.
Correct. And then as we get further down into the process, and once you're comfortable with that candidate, I would work with the negotiations with you on where you would best like to place that candidate on that range, depending on experience and other factors. So all this at this point in time would be, and this would be the low and the high, and then you as a council will have the opportunity to place where you feel that person would land.
Are you looking for our input then for that range? That's okay?
Yes, so one of the things I would be looking at would be for your approval to accept that range, so for us to advertise it.
Everybody okay with that range? Okay.
Okay.
You're good with the range?
And then the next little small item would be the job description in here. We got the job description from staff overall, read through it, matches up well with other cities. Just one really small one under the summary section. It had that the appointed representation to the MPWA. It was just a typo. It's the MMPA, the Minnesota Municipal Power Agency.
I suppose Brian caught that for you.
Yeah. So, and then the other piece would be is what we talked about also was the ensuring the policies are enforced and adhered to, and that would be an additional bullet item under the essential functions of the job. Other than that, that'd be the only two recommendations for any changes on the job description.
Everybody okay with what you see there?
Okay.
How does it fare with other cities?
Very common. I mean, it has good language that's be able to give you, the council, the authority to work around, but not to a micromanaging level.
Sure.
The last piece then, as we're working our way down the list, would be the timeline. And there's a couple major points that we'd like to make sure we discuss. The selection of the finalist, so that would bring in ourselves, so we're going to start off with just applicants. Applicants get brought down to a semifinalist, and then a semifinalist would be brought down to the finalists. So the finalists would be those that you wish to see. Those are people who would be public at that point in time, and those are then we'd like to see for a face-to-face interview. Traditionally, we go over about 12 to 15 or so semifinalists that we will be presenting to you, and then there's a huge amount of information that you're going to be able to hopefully make that decision to bring them down, who you want to bring into person. And those would be somewhere 3, 4, potentially 5 folks. And then that would be the interview process. And then there'd be some more information that you'd receive on them also. And happy to go through that with you now, or we can do it at another time. But it's quite a battery of information that you will have to help you make those selections.
Because we'll be seeing you before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll be
So
seeing me
I
a
think
lot,
we'll have
so.
Plenty of time to put together that final plan.
Perfect. So I guess just wanted to validate or can make sure that October 26th would work for that selection of finalists meeting. And then the other one would be the Wednesday, November 17th for interviews. And that goes into the posting, and the strong candidates are the ones that are going to make sure they take that day off. So they're going to kind of build their schedule around it. So it's nice if we can do our best we can to honor that. I know it's a ways out, but if people could lock that in. The specifics on the interviews, we'll have an opportunity to talk about that later. But as a council, I would say if you could minimally, maybe at least the afternoon, if that's possible, just because it does become kind of a long day in a sense. And there'll be incorporate tours, potentially a staff interview, other things, components, and then some form of a full council interview. November 17th. That's a Wednesday.
And I know that's kind of pushing towards Thanksgiving, but it's a week before it's holiday times. I mean, that's when it all kind of kicks in, is right around that time.
Yep.
So I think that's okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's...
You're not cooking?
Okay. All right, so we got
I think the timeframe looks great. And then we'll talk about how those interviews are going to go. We'll talk about that later.
And I'll be drafting up sample questions for you to
Yep.
be able to review and approve. So yes, we'll be communicating minimally once a week through emails and updates. And then also Brian and I have been talking on a regular basis too. So I'll just continue to communicate.
'Cause I think that interview process, I think we'll have not only us, but some other bodies involved in that process.
Yep, identifying key stakeholders, whatever you wish as a council. There's multiple ways of doing it, and there's not necessarily a right or wrong way to do it, but we will definitely give you a lot of options to choose from.
Right, good.
Then let's just kind of wrap up a little bit. One of the big questions we get is, well, first of all, with this approval this evening, we'll start advertising the position tomorrow. And we advertise for about a month, and sometimes almost exactly a month. And sometimes people feel like that's a little bit long for advertising, but we found out that the good candidates need to do their due diligence and find out about the community. And then also it's conversations with their spouses, like, what do you think about moving to North St. Paul? And some of those things take a little while to do. But that month was a way we can cast the widest net. I just want to briefly go real quickly over where we post. So we post at the League of Minnesota Cities. That's far and above the biggest one. But we also work with the ICMA, so that gives us our national coverage. And about 50% of our applicants do come from outside of Minnesota. We also have an email listserv for all city managers, city administrators, and county managers. And also on that listserv is the assistant managers and assistant administrators, so we're able to reach that group. We also list with the County Administration Organization, the Association of Minnesota Counties, the Minnesota University and Colleges, the League of Minnesota Cities equivalent leagues in North Dakota, Iowa, South Dakota, and Wisconsin, the International Network of Asian Public Administrators, the National Forum for Black Public Administrators, Glassdoor, and LinkedIn. And then through our other social media things that we also work through. So we cast definitely a very wide net. And then finally, I guess once approved, as we mentioned, this thing will start. What I do is what you're paying me for as your consultant is, I will leverage my connections that I've built through the 33 years as previously in public administration, and have an opportunity to work with the folks that work with the League of Minnesota Cities, Metro Area Managers Association. I was deeply involved with all those organizations, so I'll be tapping into the folks that I know about this. I'll be reaching out through meetings, phone calls, emails. Next week is actually the annual City County Administrators Conference. So that's a perfect timing, so I'm gonna have an opportunity to network with folks there at the conference. We'll have close to 300 people there that are either a county administrator, city administrator, or an assistant. So that would be an excellent opportunity. And then we also have some that are not actively in the searching business. But find out with some of them, you just so you know where or you know them a little bit, or you thought like, boy, you ever thought about coming to this community? Right away, I know somebody right now that works with the Power Association in another community, so they already have that kind of specialty that maybe some of the applicants may not have.
A lot of applicants also want to be asked, so when they go back to their councils, they say, hey, I wasn't searching, but I was approached, and it gives them a little bit of an opportunity. And I think at the end of the day, people just like feel wanted. They appreciated the good ones to be asked. And also we'll utilize our David Drown database that we have that's extremely extensive. So that's all I have here this evening, and I'm available for any other questions, or otherwise, as you said, Mr. Mayor, we'll have plenty of dialogue as we go to each step, and we'll be talking about what action needs to be taken.
Can you tell them they're going to have a new restaurant in town?
Yes. It's actually in the profile about a restaurant in there, whatever, but definitely we know we couldn't name names in there, so at that point in time, we just said there's going to be a restaurant. So.
Any questions for Mark?
Mark and I, we go back a ways. I've respected him, Metro League, Metro Cities, and he'll do us good. So I recommend him. And just get us a good one, okay?
Absolutely. You have a lot of good things going here. It's been very impressed with the staff and a lot of how folks are working together very well. So.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Reports of city manager?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of updates for you. I spoke with Morgan. I'm sorry.
Are we supposed to take action on that, to vote on it? Or no? The approval of the job profile and job description and all that?
You certainly can if you feel the need to. I think as published, it was just a presentation. If there's any objections to what he was going to present, it was an opportunity for the council to weigh in. If you want to formalize it with a vote, you certainly can. It doesn't hurt.
We could do that. Motion to approve the profile for the city manager.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Thorson, second by Councilmember Peterson. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City Manager Frandl.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple of updates. I spoke with Morgan Dolly, our city engineer, today, and an update that he had brought to council here, I believe it was the last council meeting, talking about the aerator in Silver Lake. He had gone back and requested more funds to be made available for that from the other entities involved. So Ramsey County had gone from $10,000 to $20,000 that they're willing to put towards that. Maplewood hadn't put anything up as of that time, and they've agreed to put up $5,000 towards that process as well. So we're gonna try to call a meeting together out there with city representatives and Ramsey County to go over the specifics of all of that. But that's where we're at right now.
Good news.
Yeah, yep, so that's good. Couple of updates on some of the construction that we have going. So we put the meters in today for the Centennial building today, so they're energized. We also had M&I were working on energizing another one of their, I believe, 4 plexes, and there's only 3 buildings left after that that need to be energized, and their construction is getting closer to complete. So that's good. That's all I have.
When is Quick Trip going to open? They're just flying down there.
Man, they're going fast. Yeah, we've energized that. They have power now. They're looking to go through the RTUs on the roof of that building and get that all tested and taken care of. So it's moving right along fast.
Any questions for city manager?
Yeah, do you know what the occupancy is going to be for Sentinel or the M&I homes where we are at in terms of occupancy?
So 87, I believe, is the occupancy of the Centennial. I believe the count for M&I was 97 different units down there. And then I don't remember the number off the top of my head for the anchor apartments down there, but that's 124 or something like that. It's quite a bit.
A little over 100.
Yeah.
Just over.
Yep.
Well, that's units, so.
Units.
Actual occupancy, I don't think we have that information, do we?
No, we do not. No.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All you got?
Thank you.
Any other questions for manager? Not, where'd that come from?
Townhouses up there. I've been going by there once in a while, and the rafters are
Well, I think there's a contractor discrepancy, is my understanding.
There's that, and they're also working on the development agreement finality as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on hold.
You think they would enclose it at least to keep the rain and stuff out,
No. Okay, so we got, thanks, Don. Reports of council, commissions, and committees. Councilmember Cole.
I want to thank Robert Dew for everything he did tonight and the presentations that he made, both at workshop and to council. I want to thank Councilmember Wong and Councilmember Thorson for being volunteering for, however you choose to look at it, for the Joint EDA Planning Committee. Look forward to see the outcome of that. Next EDA meeting is September the 14th at 3 o'clock here in City Hall. Mr. Mayor, I have a conflict with that. I hope to arrive by 3:30. I'm making an assumption that you will be here, but I just wanted to make that known. Okay. Last Park and Rec meeting was held, the last outdoor Park and Recreation meeting was held on the 25th. It was the community meeting at 6 o'clock. Candy, I'm counting you as the community. We had one community member attend. Other than that, we did not have a quorum for the 6:30 Park and Rec meeting, so we were unable to bring anything to council. The biggest thing that currently sits with the Park and Rec is bringing rental rates and the idea of a deposit for the Park and Rec buildings back to council for council's recommendation and approval. And I want to thank Carrie for all the hard work and effort that she put in to putting together a comprehensive sampling of what's in the community to give the Park and Rec Commission the guidance and the direction that they need to make some tough decisions. Next Park and Rec meeting is the 22nd of this month at 6:30 in City Hall.
Councilmember Wong.
Yeah. So we had our first Arts and Culture Commission, so I just want to thank the council for approving our new commissioners. The energy is great, and I'm looking forward to working with that team there. And a thank you to Chair Tom Sonic. He did a great facilitated the meeting very well. And then also to staff, Lisa Ritchie. I think she brings a lot of content as well to the commission. So we'll have our next meeting on the September 15th as we're getting the ball rolling on kind of crafting the scope and kind of the direction of the Arts and Culture Commission. And then as for the Planning Commission, our meeting was moved to the 16th of this month. So we'll be having that meeting then at 6:30. Both meetings, I think, will be available via Zoom moving forward.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yes, attended my League of Minnesota Cities board meeting last week, and we approved the budget, a lot of money that we approved. And the Ramsey County League of Local Government on September 10th will have a topic of mental illness with a panel of experts, and it'll be by Zoom at 7:30 a.m. on the 10th. That's all I have, thanks.
Okay, general business, Councilmember Cole.
I had the opportunity to sit in on a meeting on the 1st of September. It was a Zoom meeting with the Ramsey Washington County Watershed District. The conversation of topic was the Casey Lake and the management of the property or of the lake there. There's an unofficial committee put together by several of the residents on both north and south sides of the lake. Great representation was held on the Zoom meeting. There were not only from residents, but there were two people from the Ramsey Washington County Watershed District, a DNR representative, as well as Representative Lilly were in attendance. A lot of good conversation. The Watershed District walked us through basically almost a 12-year history of the lake, what has been done, address some of the myths and concerns of what's causing, what's causing the lake to look the way it currently looks today. And really the outcome of, there's just a fine line between the aesthetics of the lake and the lake quality. The Watershed District did a wonderful job presenting how they've improved the lake quality dramatically in the last, 9 years. But unfortunately, with that came some of the aesthetics of some of the vegetation has grown taller. We've got, some of the green, the phosphorus runoff that's in the lake as well. Pea soup. Talked about cattail management, sediment, and the sediment clean out. The DNR has agreed to come out and meet with some of the unofficial committee, as well as Senator Wigger would like to attend that as well to walk the lake and talk about it. Learned a lot of things about whether there truly is a control of how much water is kept in or let out. It was a good meeting. It was recorded. Again, I want to thank Carrie for assuming the responsibility. She's just kind of, it fell on Lisa for the liaison, and Carrie kind of stepped up to help out on that as well. So she's kind of the go-to as far as this is concerned. The meeting is on our website, but I couldn't tell you where.
It's under community and lakes.
Under Community and Lakes.
I built a section for our lakes, and I just got the meeting link to the YouTube today, so I'll get that up first thing.
So if anybody's interested, it was a very informative meeting. I have a meeting tomorrow, staying with Lakes. Silver Lake Improvement Committee, I'm meeting with them at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I was unable to attend their last meeting, so they're just going to bring me up to speed on the topics that they have, topics and concerns.
Councilmember Wong.
I don't have anything. One thing I would like to bring up, except for the one thing, is COVID and the Delta variant. I think there was conversation about what to do, what the guidelines are, and just some clarity around that. So again, just wanted to bring that up because it is still an issue in our community.
And I assume, City Manager, that we will be kind of analyzing as we go.
We will. We'll be following CDC guidelines and bringing that to the city as well.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate, the Park and Rec Commission members are a very dedicated group. You know, I was on it at one time, and as all our commissions are. We are very lucky to have the volunteers that we have, and they don't get a paycheck. So I appreciate all their efforts, and I just want to thank them. Thank you.
Councilmember Thorson.
Yeah, I just wanted to address some of the concerns that were brought up in the open to the public. It's unfortunate that she left, and that's typical where we don't engage with the public during that session, so I'm just being respectful of that and addressing it now. But this is nothing new. This property has been on our radar for many years. We've had a lot of meetings, community meetings, and I feel progress is being made. I mean, this was an extreme case where there was a lot of issues and a lot of problems with this property, and we only have so many resources that we can enact and take advantage of. And, the fact that we were able to negotiate a purchase of the property is fairly unique. The fact that we've gone through and had HRA meetings and discussed, on several occasions, the design aspects, and people don't attend. Communication is a two-way street. We post everything online. We post notices down on the board in City Hall. We're trying to utilize new communication. People can sign up for text messaging and email notifications. I understand there are people that don't have the internet or don't utilize it and don't use the websites. They can come to City Hall and make arrangements. I know we've had arrangements made with residents who still prefer to get things via mail. We all have our information is posted publicly, our emails, our phone numbers. You can write the city a letter. You can address it to us. It will get to us. Probably not the quickest way to do it, but this idea that we're not communicating, I just don't agree with. And it is the public's responsibility to be informed and to know what's going on. And I don't think it's appropriate for us to print a flyer or a postcard and then mail it to every resident every time we're gonna do something like this. It's just assumed that on the first and the third Tuesday of every month, at 5 o'clock, we have a workshop, at 6:30, we have a meeting, and occasionally we have an HRA meeting that follows on the conclusion of that. So, you know, I think we're trying our best to accommodate the concerns of the neighborhood with this. Is it everything that everyone wants? No, it never can be, and it never will be. But I think a lot of assumptions are being made too that just simply aren't true. I mean, I think she mentioned something about motorcycles coming and going. I mean, did we already agree to sell this home to someone who owns a motorcycle? I mean, I just don't know how to comment to things like that. But it's our job to listen. We've listened. I know I've sent email communications with her and her neighbor Ronnie Spigler. I had an opportunity to call her and talk to her too last Friday. And to me, it just seems like there's an issue there that I wasn't aware of, that maybe some other people were, but they have some children that have some special needs, and that notification ahead of time when we're gonna do something like a routine thing like trimming a tree or cutting a tree, or obviously now the demo of the house, that's all they're asking for, is that we reach out to them specifically individually and let them know. And I think a lot of this will get addressed at this special meeting that we're gonna have. But you know, I don't think that anything that they're asking for isn't unreasonable, but at the same time, you know, we can only fix what we're made aware of, and if we're not made aware of issues, we can't work on solutions to solve them. And just because it may not be exactly what one person wants, I think they can at least acknowledge, well, we're here, we're listening, and we're trying to work towards solutions. So, you know, I don't know who's planning on attending that meeting on the 15th.
So we'll be posted so we can have
Okay.
council there.
Okay.
City manager is already in the, or Jenny, I think, is in the process of posting that already. But I think it does give us the opportunity to talk to the neighbors in regards to, like they say, they have some special need kids there that the builder will be aware of now. And the builder will be there, and they'll be able to express, you know, their concerns in regards to, you know, those issues, and be able to talk to the builder because of the design of why is that driveway there? I mean, there's legitimate reasons why it's got to be there. You know, whether or not, you know, she agrees or disagrees, you know, that's up to her, but there's reasons why, and it's coming with a recommendation from the builder because of reasons that the position is better for, I think, overall for that site.
The adjacent properties as well, not just
Correct.
the one being built.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So we've taken a lot into account for this, and I think having that meeting next week, you know, with council members, whoever wants to go there, and the builder, and probably a Public Works, because they'll have some sort of role in this also. And we'll be able to get communication information from them to be able to let them know when, you know, the major things are happening. You know, we can't control everyday occurrence of what's going to happen there. We can't do that, so.
Yeah, and then just, because I'm not going to be able to make that meeting, but I just wanted to make clear that, you know, no action was going to be taken. I'm glad that we're posting it, and so that if everyone does want to attend, we can. But also my understanding is that, you know, we're dealing with construction, and, you know, it's at the mercy of weather and labor shortages, material shortages, so everything will be on a rough, you know, general time frame. We're not going to have specifics, like, you know, the roof is going to start getting put together on a specific day at a specific time. You know, those things can change, just like Don Bennick pointed out on the construction on the 7th Avenue apartments. Things change. It's crazy to watch Quick Trip go up as quickly as it is, and maybe that's part of the reason why they chose that name. But in other projects, just kind of seem to drag on and slow down. But, you know, everyone, I think, just needs to be a little patient with all that's gone on, and that, you these projects will come to a completion and the community will be better for them.
What do you got? That's it. We have the POW MIA parade on September 16th. You'll see flyers. Actually, myself and Dan Fisher, the chair of the Veterans Park, we went downtown and placed flyers on all the businesses. So if you get the opportunity, join us on September 16th. We'll walk from the VFW down to Veterans Park, and there'll be a short program at that time. It starts, assembly starts at 5 o'clock down at VFW, and then we start walking around 6:30. And it's usually about a 15-minute program, so it should be done around 7:30, if everybody wants to know. Also, our parade that we're having, Carrie, our communications person, has been working nonstop on it. I don't think you want to say a few words, but we have 85 floats or units right now.
85 units and another 20 so coming that I have promises from, but not.
So I've done, I think, 2 parades this year so far, and this is going to be way above any of those. White Bear Lake, which is a huge one, I think they only had about 50 units. So we have a lot of units that are going to be there. That's kudos to Carrie. Thank you very much for that. So that is on September 23rd. I believe the parade starts at 6 o'clock. 6:30. I believe it starts at 6:30. And we have our last car show, which will be the following day on September 24th. So we'll have that. I think the last 2 have been kind of down because of the rain that comes through. Anytime it rains, cars don't want to be there. And that's all I have.
Mayor?
Anybody else have anything else to add?
Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to give a public thank you to Sergeant Rosales, who, without hesitation, stepped up into the interim chief position and did a spectacular job during very hard conditions. I mean, they were down officers, dealt with some pretty difficult situations while he was in there. I've never seen him without a positive attitude. The guy always has a smile on his face. He did whatever it took to get that job done. I can't say enough about him, and just thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And we did sign a card from the council and gave it to him. I also want to maybe mention what happened last Friday in regards to a tragedy that happened in Maplewood. But it's 6 of our high school students were in a car crash in Maplewood, and 2 lives were lost. So I really want to recognize that, and out to the parents and the families of those students that lost their children for that very unfortunate event that happened. And our new police chief, his first week on the job, and he was very on top of things. But anytime you lose kids like that, it's very unfortunate. And my prayers, and I think all of us, our prayers go out to the family. So with that, motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilmember Peterson.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Cole. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Wow.
Go on, our team.
Because I've already lined up